Untitled Chapter.
And I'm Stephanie Luisier. Notorious gangsters like Al Capone and John Dillinger considered it a favorite stop in the 1920s and 30s, and it's in your town, Plover.
The Club Forest Bar is filled with stories and legends, but none of them have lived on quite like the story of Melvin. He was one of the first workers at the bar, and workers today are convinced his ghost is still there.
They're so convinced they asked some ghost hunters to take a look. As Michael Albert shows us, you may be surprised at what they found.
Melvin certainly has his place in the history of the Club Forest Bar and Grill, which was used for a time by its original owners as a so-called house of ill repute.
Helen and Mac from Chicago brought a man with them named Melvin, and they called him a coachman, and his job was to go to the train station, pick up the girls, bring them back here, and watch over them.
Legend has it Melvin served as a faithful guardian to the Club Forest girls, so much so it would cost him his life.
He fell in love with one of the girls, and one night she had a customer who didn't treat her very well, and Melvin confronted him. The confrontation turned into an argument, and then a fight, and initially his death.
When Pam Booth's family bought the bar from the original owner decades ago, they were warned Melvin's ghost was still there. And over the years, employees say they've seen plenty of evidence.
Many times the machines would turn on and off, the jukebox would turn on and off, certain things would fall from tables.
There's an area, a bar table that at night we put the chairs up on, and a bar stool flies off this table. It doesn't fall, it flies. My husband and he were here last fall doing some work before we opened, and he yelled at me, he said, "Why'd you throw that chair?" I said, "I didn't throw the chair, that's Melvin. I'm telling you, Melvin he just wants his presence known."
And the stories go on and on. Employees say Melvin makes himself known on a regular basis. But they wanted more answers, so they got in touch with the River City's Paranormal Society.
We searched for evidence of his existence, of the proof that he still lingers about.
The RCPS spent a night at the Club Forest researching and recording their every move. It wasn't until they reviewed their footage that they started to notice strange things, like what appears to be a face appearing in the ceiling tiles for 1 second before vanishing. They also discovered a couple of EVPs, which stands for Electronic Voice Phenomenon.
We also had that chunk of audio that happened down in the basement that we couldn't, for the life of us, explain. And there was a voice of a person that was not in the building, that we didn't know, that didn't match any of the voice templates for any of the members that were investigating.
Listen in closely as a female voice captured only on this recording mutters what sounds like, "Don't tell." That was enough to pique the interest of the River City's Paranormal Society, who says they're planning to investigate the bar again.
We exhaustively try to find out a logical answer to what's causing the phenomena. And some of that we couldn't figure out. So that's why we feel this place would warrant another investigation.
In the meanwhile, employees say it doesn't bother them. In fact, they believe Melvin is still carrying out his original job, looking out for the Club Forest girls.
Melvin's here, and he's still taking care of the girls. I mean, we've never employed more than 2 men at a time. It's basically women who have worked here for 20 years.
If you believe, you believe. If you don't, you don't. I believe.
Now we asked workers what Melvin would think about us doing a news story about him, and they said we'd have to wait and find out, so we'll see how the rest of tonight turns out.